endeavor of ours to make learning more meaningful and enjoyable through the decade, we've always ensured that we are aligned with the national projects in the field of education and thereby make our work more relatable and useful. One such project is the much talked about NIPUN Bharat, which is the acronym for National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. As per the National Education Policy, or the NEP 2020, the highest priority of the education system will be to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy in primary schools by 2025. The rest of this policy will become relevant for our students only if this most basic requirement, learning requirement, that is reading, writing, and arithmetic at the foundational level is first achieved. The road has been laid out and the journey has begun. We are very fortunate to have Professor Indu Kumar, head of the ICT and Training Division, Central Institute of Educational Technology, NCERT, with us today to deliver the keynote address. Indeed, a privilege, ma'am. A hearty welcome to you. I now invite Professor Indu Kumar to shed more light on Mission NIPUN Bharat.
So, good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini for organizing this national level event, where people from different organizations, different spheres of education are participating, because such collaboration and exchange of ideas, especially when then NEP is into its implementation, and we are working towards the deliverables as per NEP 2020. So in that context, organizing such events which are there to exchange the ideas and working towards the same mission are very, very important. So as has already been mentioned that this session will be on NIPUN Bharat mission, again, I would like to quote NEP 2020, wherein the importance of implementation of foundational literacy and numeracy has been stressed in a big way. And there is a national level mission called NIPUN Bharat Mission, has been launched for the implementation of foundational literacy and numeracy across India. Taking things forward from here, since I worked in the institution of technology, how technology is contributing to this mission will be the main stress of my presentation, how CIET, Central Institute of Educational Technology, is contributing towards this mission by partnering with different organizations and institutions. Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini is one such institution with whom we are collaborating on different aspects of the implementation of NEP 2020, as has already been mentioned in the morning, that we have an MOU in place with Satya Sai Vidya Vahini, wherever we can come at a common point for the larger goal to enhance the quality of education. As far as foundational literacy and numeracy is concerned, we are not struggling with the problem in recent years. Way back in 1931, there was an author called Gijubai Badheka. You all must be aware of his name, who was situated in Gujarat, and who realized the importance of overhauling the complete system of education, which at that time, because we were still not freed from the British rule, was running on Macaulay education. So he realized the importance of making children free from the bondage of education, which at that time was being imparted in a very traditional way. And in his book, Diva Swapna, he dwelled on the very important problems of education system, which was prevailing in India, and wrote his experiences in the book called Diva Swapna. And this book came in 1931, so way back around a decade, 93 years ago. And this situation of the education, which was not very interesting for the learners, was not only in India, but it was a global situation, because in 1964, again, in American context, a book was written, and the book is called How Children Fail. And that book was written by an American author, John Holt. He also highlighted the same problems of schooling by saying that how children fail, and what they fail because of fear, because of boredom, and because of confusion. And all these three occur in the system because children are forced to adhere to the expectations of adult, be it their parent or be it their teacher. So they have this fear of not coming up to the expectations of adult. And that fear creates boredom, and then out of this boredom emerges the confusion, because they don't find relevance in what they are learning in school and what they encounter in the real world. So there was a beautiful video shown where what we learn in a school is related or linked to what we encounter in the real world. And NCERT is working towards, since its inception, to make education more interesting, more relevant for the learners. And NIPUN Bharat mission is a step towards that particular goal which we work towards. So how it is reflected in NEP 2020 can be seen on the screen. National Policy of Education 2020 states the ability to read and write and perform basic operations with number is a necessary foundation and an indispensable prerequisite for all future schooling and lifelong learning. Until and unless we are ready to express ourselves in a written form, in oral form, we cannot perform well in all the subject areas. If foundation is not sound, then it impacts our future schooling as well, and our children tend to drop out from the school system because of the way education is being imparted to our children. So there are 3 developmental goals of foundational literacy and numeracy, or NIPUN Bharat mission. So developmental goal 1 is children maintain good health and well-being. So until and unless we have a sound health, we cannot perform in any aspect of our life or whatever we face in the society. So this goal is an overarching goal which cuts across all the other learning outcomes and all the other 2 goals. So this includes development of competencies related to physical, socio-emotional, and psychological health and well-being of children for life. This goal also continues to provide experience for health and well-being. socio-emotional development, health, nutrition, hygiene, practices, and safety. Keeping in view this particular goal, it has been further chalked out into different learning outcomes which cater to this particular developmental goals, and around those learning outcomes and key competencies, contents, and practices which need to be followed in schools have been suggested. And as NCFFS, NCF for foundational stage is also in place. So it elaborates further towards achievement of this particular developmental goal 1 and the learning outcomes aligned to the developmental goal and the key competencies which a child has to attain this particular goal. Then there is developmental goal 2, which says children become effective communicators. So becoming effective communicator is also very essential to express themselves in all spheres of life. So this goal is to enable children to orally communicate with ease and competence in the preschool or school language. They also need to become print aware, which caters to reading, understand or make a meaningful connection with reading and writing. We learn reading and writing, but we are not able to comprehend. We are not able to read with comprehension, and this also leads to the failure of children in the school system. So reading with understanding and writing with understanding is also very important. So for that, we need to expose children to familiar context on which they can speak. So they should not speak and write. They should not be some abstract scenario using which we tend to teach children to express themselves, read the irrelevant context, and write about irrelevant scenarios. So everything, be it language, be it health and being, should be related to their immediate surroundings, should be related to their immediate environment, so that they find meaning to what they are learning. So they also need to develop interest in books and in learning to read. Learning to read is also essential. And until and unless they are exposed to a print-rich environment with providing them interesting books written in their familiar context, we won't be able to make them efficient readers and efficient writers. Then comes developmental goal 3, which is about children become involved learners and connect with their immediate surroundings. So this particular goal caters to environmental studies, the environment around a child, and also mathematics, numerical or numeracy learning. So it enables children from concepts related to the world around them through direct experience and interaction with the physical, social, and natural environment through language, mathematical thinking, and environmental awareness. So like that, entire NIPUN Bharat mission and implementation of foundational literacy and numeracy is geared towards these 3 developmental goals. So how digital resources related to foundational literacy and numeracy have been developed, procured, and made available on Diksha can be seen here. So all these stakeholders of education can explore FLN resources from a portal called Diksha. Then developmental goal-wise learning outcomes from preschool to grade 2 need to be covered for developing FLN resources. So these classes need to be covered through FLN for the implementation of NIPUN Bharat mission. So developmental goals have been broken into learning outcomes, and all the resources, digital resources, are aligned to these learning outcomes. So Diksha houses digital resources such as infographics. These are some of the variety of the digital resources which we believe may interest children, which may engage them into the learning and open a large vistas for them to learn in an interesting and engaging manner. So we have infographics, worksheets, assessment sheets, bite-sized videos, and gamified assessment and learning contents for FLN. Bite-sized videos are very small videos. When it comes to videos for entertainment, our attention span is not very short. But when it comes to reading for acquiring education, it is true to all of us that our attention span is not that great. So that is why it has been envisaged to have bite-sized videos, small videos related to learning outcomes, to make children interested in the achievement of learning outcomes and learn out of those digital contents. Then online professional development of teachers. We sitting at NCRT or sitting at different institutions may be working towards this goal, but there are teachers also into the field. The number of teachers in our country is very large. So they also need to be ingrained, trained into the mission, because they are the real implementers. If they are not trained, if they are not oriented to this particular mission, and the importance of foundational literacy and numeracy, no matter how big efforts we do sitting at national level, we won't be able to achieve the goals and objectives. So that is why the professional development of teachers has also been taken up seriously for the implementation of this mission. And there is a provision on Diksha to have courses as well, professional development courses for teachers who are teaching at this level. So we have courses like on early childhood care and education, foundational literacy and numeracy for teachers, and all these courses can also be accessed from the same place. So there are several very important and crucial areas of education which have been highlighted in NEP 2020. Like adult education has come up in a big way. The existence of virtual lab has also come up in a big way. Vocational education has also been highlighted. Then education of children with a special need is another highlight that we have to work towards. And the another one is foundational literacy and numeracy. Because Diksha portal was launched in 2017 and it was given to NCRT in 2020. So keeping in view the highlights of NEP 2020, we developed different vertical on the highlights of NEP 2020. So NIPUN Bharat mission is one very important highlight. So we have developed a separate vertical on the existing Diksha portal to cater to the need and requirements of the implementation of NIPUN Bharat mission. So I would like to directly take you through that particular vertical so that you understand and you know how developmental goal-wise learning outcomes aligned resources are housed in the portal. So can we cut to the Diksha portal? Yes. So this is the vertical. If we access our browser and in the top menu bar, if we type diksha.gov.in, so we will be able to get a page, we will be able to access Diksha. And on Diksha, all the important areas are highlighted which need to be taken care of. NIPUN Bharat Mission is one such area. So here you can see the page of NIPUN Bharat Mission is open. So all the important documents of NIPUN Bharat Mission are housed here. If you click onto the Explore button below every tile, you will get the resources aligned to that tile. So first one is NIPUN Bharat documents. So all the documents you can access from here. You need not to have prints of all these documents. You need not to write to NCERT to provide you these documents. These documents are just a click away. Then NIPUN Bharat Mission videos are also there to spread awareness and to spread enthusiasm among the stakeholders. And then regional workshop resources are also there to take this mission in the implementation phase in a mission mode. So NCERT has also organized regional workshops to get to know the status of the implementation. And all these states and union territories, they present the implementation status of NIPUN Bharat Mission. So here all the resources which are the outcome of those regional workshops are also placed here. So we can see where we were at the time of last workshop and where we have to move forward for the implementation of this mission. If we scroll below, we will see what all is contained in this on this particular page. So there is about foundational literacy and numeracy. In a very brief manner, we have given here the importance of foundational literacy and numeracy, what it is all about. If we scroll further, then we can see, we can explore developmental goal-wise e-content for 6 classes, although in the NIPUN Bharat Mission, we are encompassed for preschool 1, preschool 2, preschool 3, class 1 and class 2, but we also have here resources for class 3. If we click on to Explore button below any class, we will get 3 developmental goals. So we are exploring class 1, and we can see developmental goal, a drop down where developmental goal 1, developmental goal 2, and developmental goal 3 is written. Lakshyas are also there, and during the time of pandemic, we developed alternative academic calendar, which contained activities for foundational literacy and numeracy. So that calendar is also there. If we click on to any developmental goal, so let us click on to developmental goal 2, which is for communication. Children become effective communicators. So we will get this. So you will get a small form to be filled. If we quickly fill this form, which requires information about the person who is accessing Diksha. Yeah. So after filling the form, we will see this. So by default, in the player, which you can see on my left, is the key competencies related to developmental goal 2, because we clicked on to developmental goal 2. And in the right side, in the left side, there is a player, and by default, we can see key competencies. And in the on the right-hand side, we can see the learning outcomes, the list of learning outcomes, which are codified, which are aligned to this particular developmental goal. So we are scrolling on the list of learning outcomes, which are for English and Hindi here, because NCERT works in 3 languages primarily, English, Hindi, and Urdu. But as of now, we have contents in 84 languages on Diksha. But for foundational literacy and numeracy, up till now, we have resources for languages in English and Hindi. If we click on to any learning outcome, we can see a drop-down wherein you can find infographics, worksheets, assessment sheets, bite-sized videos, and gamified assessment and learning there. So you can see here ECL2, that is English 2, and learning, the number of learning outcome is 4.7. Connects text with illustrations while reading the story. So this is the learning outcome which need to be achieved. So you can see here worksheet and activity sheets, assessment sheets, video, infographics, and any resource if we develop, we get, we procure, we can align here. So I would like to show a small video on this particular learning outcomes. What is the learning outcome? Can we scroll up to reiterate it once again so that you can see whether the resource is aligned to the learning outcome? Connects text with illustrations while reading the story. So let us play the video. So the title of the video is Children of Wax. It's based on an African folk tale. So let us see how can children connect illustration with text while reading the story.
At a time, there lived a happy family. They never fought with each other. They helped their parents at home and in the fields. But they were not allowed to go near a fire. They had to do all their work during the night because they were made of wax. But one of the boys wished to go out in the sunlight. One day, he planned to step out. Alas, it was too late. He melted in the hot sun. The wax children were so sad to see their brother melting away. So, they made a bird with the melted wax. They took their bird brother up to a high mountain. And as the sun rose, he flew away singing into the morning light.
So you can see here we have also given attributes. Whenever we create resource which is taken from any source, illustrations which are taken from any source, we also need to give attribution to the original resource. So that is very, very important that we need to adhere to while developing any resource. So we can also see any resource aligned to class 3. Can we go back to the portal? See, okay, learning outcome we can see from here. We can play the video. And let me read out the learning outcome on which this particular learning resource is aligned to. So the learning outcome is the learner identifies simple observable features, shapes, color, texture, aroma of leaves, trunk, bark of plants, animals, and birds in immediate surroundings. So this is the learning outcome. Please see if the video is aligned to this particular learning outcome.
Tina, are you coming with me to the park? Hooray, Mom! I'm so excited! Let's go! Mom, these trees are so different from each other. Yes, dear. Some of them differ from each other, but some have similar characters. Look at these plants, Tina. Their leaves are different in color, but similar in shape. They are elongated. You can call them linear shaped. And this one, it is triangular. Do you remember this shape?
Yes, Mom. I remember. I had studied this shape in my maths class. Oh, Mom, mint must be growing around. Its fragrance always attracts me.
Then let's find out where they are growing.
Ah, I found them. Hey, look here, Mom. This is so amazing.
Oh, yes.
I used to think that only flowers are colorful, but leaves of this plant are so beautiful. This purple color is so attractive and they are so soft to touch, just like our velvet blanket.
Yes, Tina. See, there are other plants also with colorful leaves.
They are amazing. Oh, the bark of this tree is so smooth, unlike other trees.
It varies. Some trees have smooth bark, some have grooved or bumpy. Now, let's go back home.
Mom, we'll visit the park tomorrow as well.
Sure, dear.
Oh, Mom, look at them. A cat is running after a rat and a dog is running after the cat. Good morning, Mom. Oh, wow. Which bird is this?
This is woodpecker. Let's go to the balcony. You will observe a variety of birds chirping, interacting with each other, making this morning even more pleasant.
Yes, I want to see more birds.
So that is how learning outcome aligned digital contents related to all the three developmental goals have been created and housed on the vertical called NIPUN Bharat Mission Vertical. And I saw that you were showing here Jadui Pitara also. So it is very, very difficult in a country like India, where there are large number of schools in our country, to send or to get the Jadui Pitara in every school, the physical Jadui Pitara in any school. Either the teachers or school need to customize based on the Jadui Pitara which was launched at national level, or we can also have digital version of the content available. And I would also like to see you, because the internet is slow, so I was showcasing standalone resources which were downloaded. So all these resources are freely downloadable, shareable from Diksha. So each resource has a bar. Clicking on that bar, you can get a drop down of share, print and download. So they can be printed, downloaded and shared with the stakeholders. Can we go to the digital Jadui Pitara? We can also see how Jadui Pitara for FLN, for NIPUN Bharat Mission has been digitized and resources are aligned to the outcomes which we need to achieve through Jadui Pitara as well. So if we click on to the digital Jadui Pitara here, so we will get this. So it needs to be opened. If we click on to open, so the Jadui Pitara gets opened. So there are 10 different varieties of resources here. There are books which are there in physical Jadui Pitara, digital books, and they are in multiple Indian languages. Then cards, charts, dominoes, flashcards, guidelines, posters, puppets. We don't have puppets in, can't have puppet in digital forms. So how puppets can be pedagogically used? The videos catering to that are available, how a puppet can be pedagogically used, how toys and games are also there. So how toys and games can be pedagogically used, and there are a lot of puzzles also. Can we see the picture seriation story cards which are there? Seriation cards. which are based on the stories. I would like to see those cards. Yeah, story cards are there, so you can see in the drop down. So there are story cards. So there is a popular story called Suraj or Hawa. We all might have heard this story. So there are cards, which the story and the cards related to this particular story. So they can be pedagogically utilized. There is no one way of pedagogical uses of any resource. It is up to the creativity of teacher how she decides to use a particular resource. So teacher can tell the story first, group the class into different groups, and give them set of those cards, take print and give them sets of cards, and ask children to arrange the cards as per the sequence of the story, as per the events that occurred in the story. There is another way of using these story cards. Teacher can distribute cards first and ask children to arrange these cards in any which manner they want to arrange, create a new story, and group of students can tell that particular story that they have created, and then teacher can tell them the original story. So that is how we will have different versions of these stories, which are created by students. They tend to foster their creativity also, and we have a lot of story created by children. So that is how these cards can be used in a different manner as per the pedagogy that a teacher wants to adopt. And for that manner, any resource which is available on Diksha for the use of teachers and students is not an end in itself. And these resources are not to replace teachers, because the human interaction, nothing can compensate the human interaction between a teacher and her students. So these resources are to pedagogically use. So we can use the resources in 3 ways, but there can be many more ways. Pre-lesson use of any resource, mid-lesson use of any resource, and post-lesson use of any resource. And these resources can also be used for blended and flipped learning, where we give way to the teachers to make their students speak in the classroom, because students have already gone through the resource. We can share the resource, flip the classroom experience, traditional classroom experience. We can share the resource with the children. They can watch the resource, come in the class with the questions which emerged into their mind by watching the resource. And classroom, the hours can be used in productive discussions with the children. So that's all I want to say. I think I have taken some extra time. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.
That was indeed an insightful session. Catch them young, as they say, is the key. And if we can add the flavor of right education to their childhood, then is that Sone Pe Suhaga? I now invite Srimati Karuna Munshi, Director, Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini, to felicitate our guest, Professor Indu Kumar. Thank you so much, ma'am.